cell differentiation and specialization. Living organisms are made up of many cells, but not all cells do the same job. In fact, cells in the body can be very different from each other because they perform very specific functions. For example, some cells are designed to carry oxygen, others to send messages quickly, and some to provide support or absorb nutrients. This is why the relationship between a cell's structure and its function is one of the most important ideas in biology. The way a cell looks, its shape, the parts inside it, and even its size are all connected to what it is meant to do. Cells develop these features through a process called cell differentiation. What is a specialized cell? A specialized cell is a cell that has changed from a basic, unspecialized form into a cell that can perform a particular job efficiently. In multicellular organisms, most cells are specialized, which allows the organism to function properly. For example, some cells are made for movement, like sperm cells. Some are made to carry messages, like nerve cells. Some absorb nutrients, like root hair cells in plants, and others transport materials, like xylem and phloem cells in plants. Specialized cells often look very different from one another because their structures are adapted for their unique roles. Cell differentiation. Cell differentiation is the process through which a cell changes and develops the structures it needs to carry out a specific function. At the start of life, many cells are unspecialized. As the organism grows, these cells gradually develop into specialized cells. This happens because they form different subcellular structures like mitochondria, vacuoles, or long extensions depending on the job they need to do. For example, an unspecialized cell could become a nerve cell to send signals, a muscle cell to contract and allow movement, or a blood cell to carry oxygen. Most differentiation occurs in early development, but there is a difference between plants and animals. In animals, once a cell has specialized, it usually cannot change into another type of cell. In plants, many cells can keep differentiating throughout their life, which is why plants can grow new leaves, roots, or flowers even when they are fully grown. In mature animals, the few cells that can still differentiate are mainly used for repair and replacing damaged cells, such as skin cells or blood cells. Some cells never specialize and stay as stem cells, which can later divide and become different types of cells if needed. Linking cell structure to function. When answering questions about specialized cells in exams, it is important to explain how a cell's structure helps it perform its job. You need to think about the parts inside the cell and what role they play. For example, cells that need a lot of energy usually contain many mitochondria, because mitochondria release energy through a process called respiration. Examples of specialized cells. Sperm cells. Sperm cells are specialized for reproduction. Their main job is to carry male genetic information to the egg cell during fertilization. Structural adaptations that help sperm cells do this include a long tail or flagellum that helps the sperm swim toward the egg, a streamlined head that reduces resistance while moving through fluid. Many mitochondria that provide the energy needed for swimming. Enzymes in the head that help the sperm digest the outer layer of the egg so fertilization can happen. Nerve cells. Nerve cells, also called neurons, are specialized for sending electrical signals quickly across the body. They allow different parts of the body to communicate with each other. Key features of nerve cells include a long axon that allows signals to travel long distances, branched ends called dendrites, which connect to many other nerve cells and form a communication network. Having a few very long nerve cells is more efficient than having many short ones, because signals travel faster along long cells. Nerve cells together form the nervous system. Muscle cells. Muscle cells are specialized for contraction, which means they can shorten and relax to create movement. Adaptations include a long shape, which helps the cell contract more effectively. Many mitochondria, because contraction requires a lot of energy. Root hair cells. Root hair cells in plants are specialized for absorbing water and mineral ions from the soil. They grow on the surface of roots. Their adaptations include a long hair-like shape, which increases surface area to absorb more water and minerals. A thin cell wall, which makes it easier for substances to enter. A large vacuole, which helps the cell keep the right water balance. Root hair cells do not have chloroplasts because they are underground and do not perform photosynthesis. Xylem and phloem cells. Xylem and phloem cells are specialized for transporting substances around the plant. They form long tubes that move water, minerals, and food. Xylem cells carry water and minerals from the roots to the rest of the plant. They are adapted to this job because they join end to end to form long tubes. They have hollow centers so water can flow easily. They have strong walls to support the plant. Phloem cells carry sugars and other food materials throughout the plant. They are adapted because they form long tubes. They have very few subcellular structures, which makes it easier for substances to move through them. Practice questions. Question: what is cell differentiation? Cell differentiation is the process by which a cell changes and develops specialized structures that allow it to perform a specific function in the organism. Question: describe the difference between plant cells and animal cells in their ability to differentiate. Most animal cells lose the ability to differentiate once they become specialized, while many plant cells can continue to differentiate throughout their life. Question: what is the function of a nerve cell? The function of a nerve cell is to carry electrical impulses from one part of the body to another, allowing rapid communication. Question: describe two features that make nerve cells specialized for their function. Nerve cells have long axons that allow signals to travel long distances, and branched dendrites that connect to many other nerve cells, forming a communication network. Question: muscle cells require large amounts of energy for contraction. Which feature of muscle cells allows them to produce this energy? Muscle cells contain many mitochondria, which release energy through respiration to support contraction. Question: gastric chief cells in the stomach produce and release digestive enzymes, which are proteins. Would you expect gastric chief cells to contain many ribosomes, and why? Yes, gastric chief cells contain many ribosomes, because ribosomes are responsible for making proteins, including digestive enzymes. Epithelial cells in the small intestine absorb digested food molecules. How do their structures help them do this? Epithelial cells have many folds in their cell membrane, which increases surface area for absorption, and many mitochondria, which provide energy for transporting molecules into the cell.